r/AskReddit. What normal task gives you anxiety? That stupid/embarrassing thing I did/said 10 years ago that literally no one but me remembers. And you remember it when you're trying to sleep. It's like someone's just plopped a turd in your soup. No. No. Don't get too relaxed. Remember this? Yeah. I know you do. Scheduling appointments of any kind over the phone. Sorry, we don't have any openings that day. How is 3 PM on Thursday 3 weeks from now? Okay. I'm good then WTFR did HE Opening the door after you hear someone knock and you are not expecting anyone. Just crouch down and wait until they go away. When I was living with my parents and I was like 15, we used to have this huge glass door at our front of the house. It was a reflective door from the outside, but you could see through it from inside. You could just barely see some silhouettes or shadows of people moving inside if you were outside and the proper lighting was shining on it etc, but most of the time it was impossible. Anyways, one day I was home alone and somebody rings the bell. We have a wild garden. Like 3-4 meters away from our door we have a gate. I just ignored it hoping they'd go away. Then they rang again. At that point I was curious, so I went to check. I was ducking Rambo. I literally crawled from the stairs, my room was upstairs, to the living room. Then I was prone on the ground like it was ducking numb. I kept crawling until I reached the hall and I sneakily peeked from the ground. Mind you, past the corner. At that point, I swear to God, I'm 100% sure our eyes locked. I stared out of the door and there was this dude with a suitcase, probably looking for my dad, and he was staring right at me. I will never know if he actually saw me, saw some shadow, or it was just random happenstance, but it froze all the blood in my body. I slowly retracted into a corner, hiding in a fetal position for 20 minutes. He rang the doorbell twice after until he went away. Seriously, duck that. I don't know why I get such anxiety when I write emails. I'll just sit there for hours revising 4 sentences. I routinely send emails to Indian outsourcers, so I have to scan my emails repeatedly for weird grammar and spelling mistakes. Because any slip up could make them do something completely wrong. It's come to the point where the send button might as well be one of those smash the glass and turn the key nuclear bomb launch buttons. Merely waking up. My first thought every morning is duck. You are not alone. I usually say it out loud as I rise. Bones and ligaments popping and crackling. Fuhuawak. Great way to start the day. Actually, I only let out audible ducks on Mondays and Tuesdays. Writing cover letters. The whole job application process is a pain in the ass. But writing those damn letters are a special kind of hell, because I'll read articles/samples and then spend hours agonizing over every sentence. Trying to make sure everything is decent. Edited, a word. Dear Duckface. You know this letter is horse hit. I know this letter is horse hit. Why am I writing it? Because for some reason you requested one. Please stay tuned as I embezzle skills and brown nose your company so hard that my sniffer will be far enough up yours to touch your colon. Regards. Person who doesn't want to be unemployed. Embezzling is stealing from your employer. Embellishing is making up details to make something sound better. You embellish on your resume. And then you embezzle after you get the job. Making a left turn at a busy intersection. It's because of the people behind you. Right? Yup. That's exactly it. Answering a question in class. Even if I know it's something I'm sure of the answer to, that moment when you're like 70% sure that it's true. But it might also be absolute bullshit. Run into this dilemma a lot. Or when you're 100% sure it's true, but it's not, so you look like an idiot. Being with people after a weekend alone. For some reason it makes me feel like a stranger with my close friends and I feel like I forgot how to be with real life people. I spent 112 days doing a 12-hour shift on a ship in a shipyard. Lived on board. I'd see the day guy, then maybe 1-2 others every few days. I'd stay up to go to a nearby coffee shop every few weeks. I swear being a normal person is not like riding a bike. Stop reading the salt and order / stop staring at everyone / your turn to talk. Idiot. She can't hear your thoughts. Showing up at work. Same. It really sucks when you work an evening shift, wake up at 8-10 am, then sit around nervously trying to figure out what to do with your time until 4 pm when you go in. I work 5 pm until 3:30 am. Typically, I'll fall asleep at 5 am and wake up at noon. From noon until 4:15 I'm trying to figure out what the hell I should do with these few hours. Typically, I watch YouTube videos and have a sad jerk. Anything once somebody starts staring at me. I hate having to do things with somebody looking at you. This it right here. I work at an electronics shop, and if I'm by myself installing something for a customer and I have a line behind them, everyone just ends up standing there watching me in silence. I can just feel their dead fish eyes upon me. Oh. Customer immediately in front of you. VV looks down at feet. Shifts to a sideways turn cough. Oh swims back into dead fish eyes. Listening to voicemails. I feel like I'm gonna throw up every time. Getting a haircut is the worst for me. I get really nervous and as a result look worried. I don't choose to look worried. I just do. Then there's the dilemma of where to look. Do I stare at my own worried face in the mirror and have some weird half smile, half grimace plastered on it? Or look at the floor? Is my head tilted to one side? Should I be talking to the barber / hairdresser? Oh hit. The guy behind me is looking at me now. I bet I look really worried. Yup. Just looked at myself in the mirror and I look really odd. Is he thinking I'm weird? He probably is. How do I fix this? Duck getting a haircut. If the barber is talkative then it's totally 100% fine. But if not I go into that horrible state. This is where extreme nearsightedness has been a godsend. I take off my glasses and instantly feel like an ostrich. I can't see anyone. Therefore they totally can't see me, and suddenly everything feels fine. For my brother's wedding I did this. Took my glasses off. Told her I want some up and some down, and a braid just sat there not being able to see for 15 minutes and then bam. Beautiful hair. Not wearing a backpack or holding a bag in a public place. Are people noticing that I'm awkwardly flailing my hands while walking? Instead of them purposely fixed in place holding something? Literally no one cares. I have anxiety about lots of things that no one cares about. Has never helped me knowing that. Like writing this. Driving. Same here. When I'm actually driving I don't feel anything. But the thought of getting in the car and driving off to somewhere I don't know. My stomach just acts on its own. Yeah. I'm basically fine when I'm in the car, but I really need to gear myself up for it, and I'll avoid it whenever possible. I have a recurring nightmare that my foot is stuck in the pedals and I can't brake. Taking my change from a cashier. Feels like everyone in the store stops what they're doing to stare at me annoyingly until I've shoved it in the most convenient pocket or bag. Never have the time to put it away appropriately in my wallet that's already open in my other hand. I don't know how old you are, but I eventually got to a point in my life where I just say duck it. I put my change in my wallet and I don't fret. Part of being in society is realizing that other people sometimes need a moment to take care of their hit first, and I just have to wait. Yes, I can get annoyed that someone has to make a turn on a road, or that they're putting money away in their wallet, or they walk slow, so I just need to not run down the stairs behind them. But then I just feel annoyed and it doesn't change anything. And you know what? It's ducking okay. Don't make other people's anger, impatience and frustration your problems. Take care of you, and as long as you're not being an obnoxious shat, you've done your duty. Thanks kittens. I needed cat. Anything I have to show up on time for. Every time I have to be somewhere I make sure I'm like 15-20 minutes early in the neighborhood of the place, and then just stand around awkwardly. And every time I'm exactly on time I apologize for being late. I don't get myself. I do the same thing. Every time I arrive 15 minutes early. The 15 minutes until everyone else arrives are the longest in my life. I love getting to the movie theater and standing near the front doors and looking at my phone like an outcast. Reading this thread apparently. Literally every reply in this thread has been communicating with other people so far. Walking down main roads. I feel so judged. Yeah. I see people running on main roads and I'm like, WTF, are you fearless? Just strolling along, I feel so conspicuous. I don't know how to stand still. When I'm waiting for the train or the street light, I start feeling really awkward and uncomfortable. If I'm staring at my phone in public, 90% of the time it's because I'm trying to avoid awkwardly standing still. Being around new people. I have no idea who you are. What do I say? Is it creepy if I talk to you? Is it creepy if I don't talk to you? The worst part is when you can't remember their names 5 minutes after they told you. No. The worst part is when they ask you for your name, but you panic and hesitate and say it like a question that you're not sure of. For example, hi, I'm Dan. What's your name? It's UAAAA. Nagel 93. Meeting someone new. What do I do? Do we shake hands? Hug? Do the air kisses? I wish I was a guy. They all just magically know that cool guy handshake. You would not believe how ducking awkward it is to meet someone new as a guy and they stick out your hand for the gentleman's handshake to realize that they were actually going for the cool one and you end up just fondling their hand for a little bit. Duck me. I still cringe when I remember when I first met my brother's roommate. He went in for the cool handshake, but I wasn't sure if he was going to turn it into a fist bump or a normal handshake. So I just ended up sliding my hand off of his, and that was it. Made awkward eye contact afterwards. So much cringe. Thinking about having to talk to someone who gives me anxiety. Confronting someone because he/she did something bad is the hardest. Getting a haircut. I hate small talk. So, how are you, Todd? Please kill me. The idea of having a job and having to deal with people every day. The idea of anything is pretty much always worse in your head than it is IRL. It's best not to overthink things, especially if they are not currently something you need to deal with. When the time arises, just do it and you'll find out it's most likely nothing like how it was in your head. Yeah. I mean, I realize that doesn't make motivating myself to get out there any easier. What with all the rest of the hit going on in my life as well. Approaching a traffic light that I know has been green for a while. Existing. 3D 33p5 me. Shopping. Driving. Leaving the house. When I like to talk things out and my boyfriend is a thinker and he doesn't answer me right away. Going to the doctor. Getting ready to leave the house. Getting dressed. Putting on makeup. Doing hair if I feel rushed, it's way worse. Running errands in general. My anxiety makes me get things done in public super quick because I can't handle it and my pulse is already up and then my head starts sweating and ugh. I'm exactly the same. I find myself needing to know exactly where I'm going or what I'm picking up if I'm going out alone. I hate the idea of looking like I don't know what I'm doing. Self-service checkouts. I exaggerate my movements to make sure security can see that I'm not shoplifting. I picture you dramatically swiping items over the laser and holding them up in the air after each swipe and saying "Tada" before putting it in a bag. Please place item in the bagging area. Oh fuck. Attendant has been notified to assist you. Going to a busy store. Any task in front of someone after I tell them I'm really good at it. Or a new task in front of someone who is already really good at it. Telling a waiter my order. Even worse. Telling a waiter they ducked up my order. Putting on my choice of music in the car with other people there. Even worse, when you purposely show a song to people. Like 3 minutes and 45 seconds of you looking nervously between the cover art and your friends. Occasionally adjusting the volume. I've given up on that one. Showing people funny videos as well. I showed my friend a hilarious video. Like 2 minutes in he said, so why are we watching this? Another time. He showed me a college humor video. Not at all funny. But at least I had the decency to fake a laugh, to not make him feel super uncomfortable, like he did to me. Reading out loud in class. I swear I could hit my pants right there and right then. This was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. We're all going around the room. Each one of us reading a stanza from a very long poem. I've counted how many people are in front of me, and worked out which stanza is mine. So I'm ignoring what everyone else is saying, and I'm not absorbing the poem at all. Because I'm sitting there rehearsing my stanza. I'm sitting in the very back of the row. When the girl sitting in front of me finishes reading her part, I open my mouth to speak, and the girl in the next row starts reading my stanza. She apparently miscounted, or overlooked me completely, or something. Well, this should be a blessing, right? I've been skipped over. I don't have to read all that nervous anxiety for nothing. Nope. For reasons I can't begin to imagine, I suddenly blurt out, "Hey, that's my line." Everyone turns to look at me. For a brief second, I think, maybe they'll think it's funny. We'll share some awkward laughter. Nope. Everyone just stares at me. The professor looks up from his book, makes eye contact with me, and gives me a look like, "What the duck, son?" Talking on the phone with people I don't know. And part of my job includes hours of interviewing folks on the phone. Edit, missing letter.